And I think we are live. Hello, everyone. I hope that you can hear me. And this time it's gonna work. So I have prepared a few stuff in OBS, so the chat should be visible and everything should be working. Not like last time. Everything went like really bad. So this time I'm a little bit better prepared. So hey everyone, I'm gonna wait a little bit before we start. So maybe 1-2 minutes. Oh, I see already there's a lot of people. Hi everyone. So this time it will be like I will be sharing as well, not only, let's say, me, I'm gonna be sharing my iPad. So if there's like question that's I will be like discussing with you, will be like maybe sketching a few stuff. Otherwise, we're gonna talk over here. So I think this is gonna be nice. So if you don't have already your coffee, make sure to bring it. And then we kick off. I'm just gonna wait like a few minutes and then we start. Let me check. So I have here everything ready. And one more thing, I don't have moderators on the, let's say, the stream. So please make sure to ask once your question and no need to spam. So I'm gonna say we have 190 people already. So that's really nice. I'm gonna say welcome everyone to my second stream. I'm really excited about it. I have a few content that I'm gonna be sharing with you. And first of all, I'm gonna say that thank you so much for all the support that I'm getting. It is crazy. Currently, there is like a lot of, let's say, subscribers on the channel, a lot of followers as well in LinkedIn, and a lot of nice messages. So I'm really happy about it. And thank you so much for, for all the support. This time I will be reading your comments and your, let's say, chats better, because I have it now very visible for me, and we'll be discussing with you the following. So how I feel after I left my job. It's already now 1 month after I left Mercedes-Benz. And then I'm gonna deep dive into the different roles, because I see there's still some confusion about what is data analyst, what is data engineer, data scientist, and what are the differences between them, and why do we need all those tools? So there is a lot of confusion about it. I will be trying to make it more clear for you. So, and yeah, I'm gonna try to answer your questions that you are posting in the chat. So now, let's start with the first thing, like how I feel after 1 month leaving my job. So yeah, grab your coffee, as I said. The thing is, I worked for around 17 years at different companies. The longest was in Mercedes-Benz for 7 years. I joined other companies like Bosch or IBM and some mid-sized companies here in Germany. And this is the first time after 17 years I have left my job, and now I am full-time content creator. It is very confusing phase after a month. So I'm gonna tell you, like, yeah, it's not that easy here in Germany. First of all, there's a lot of paperwork you have to do, a lot of bureaucracy, and I have to pay for extra stuff than before, because before we shared it with the company, especially about the healthcare and stuff. Other than that, I feel more freedom, of course, after leaving the job. There is a lot of now free time, let's say, that I should be using for the content creation, but it is more chaotic. I broke the routine that we have at the work. You know, at the work, I know I'm gonna work 5 days a week, 40 hours, and then I have 2 days in the weekends. So it's like a routine, but once you break it and you go, let's say in, as a freelancer or retirement, let's say, it's going to be chaotic. You're going to ask yourself, what I'm going to do? What is my new routine? Because I need a new routine in order to, to not think about every day what I will be doing. So this is one of the things that I didn't yet get it correct. It is chaotic. Every day is different. So one day I wake up early, another day I slack a little bit. And so third day I solve some issues at the new apartment. So it is chaotic. It is not a routine. And I need to get everything sorted, let's say, as a routine, as a content creator. So this is one thing. Another thing that's, of course, missing the people, because I used to have my colleagues, my teammates. I used to see them, like, as I said, 40 hours a week. So suddenly everyone disappeared in, let's say, in my week, in my life. So that's why I miss all those people that I worked with. And the biggest thing, let's say, that did change, or let's say I understood over the time that, if you are working in a company and you are very motivated, so you're going to build things. So you start pushing on, like, for example, I built a platform, a data lakehouse, let's say, as a data engineer. I built a team that is working with me. I had like a lot of customers. I had, let's say colleagues. I have stakeholders. I have managers. So, and it's like I built over the time a community around me, and I felt like an owner, at the job. So I felt I am the product owner of what I'm doing. And that was as well my title. So I was a product owner of a data platform. So what happened is that, like, you believe it, as you are working, you believe that you are the owner. But once you leave your job, I know that I left several jobs before, but this is first time I get hit in this truth, let's say. Once you leave your job, you're going to understand everything that you have built, all the people around it. It's not actually something that you own. It is owned by the company. At the end, I am just employed there. I'm working there, getting my salary. But if you get yourself involved and you start building a lot of things, you're going to feel, now I'm a real owner. But believe me, in one day, everything disappeared. Like all the customers that I have, all the colleagues, everyone on my team, the software, the code that I spent day and night writing it, everything disappeared. I don't have access to anything. And in one day, everything is gone. And this is shocking, to be honest, to me, because I felt like, hey, I am the owner. But the reality, it's really, you are just a worker there. I'm working for the company. Everything is owned by the company. And if you leave, you're going to leave everything. So this is something that's hit me really hard, let's say, because I miss a lot of things. And in one day, of course, I'm getting at the end my salary and stuff, but you lose everything if you leave the company. Now, as a content creator now, I feel every minute I do, everything that I decide, let's say, it's gonna like belongs to me. I am the owner of this. And like, if I make a new course, it's gonna be belonging to me. If I make a new meeting, or I, let's say, build a website or make a community, it belongs to me. And it's something that I build, for me. And this is something you cannot leave in one day. Like if I leave now, content creation, I will not leave, of course. It belongs to me. And this is the big difference between content creator or you are employed at a company. So this is one big truth that I understood as I left. And of course, it depends on your work. If you are just a developer and let's say leave a company, you're gonna feel you are free from responsibility. But as a product owner, I had really huge responsibility at the work. I was responsible for a lot of people, around 20, a lot of customer and stuff. So I feel I'm free now. It's easier now. But of course, at the other side, I have more responsibility. That's I have to make sure that everything works. I can pay my bills. I can, let's say, my finance stuff is stable. So you're gonna feel a little bit risk, but at the other side, you are building something belongs 100% for you and not belongs to someone else. So this is the big difference that I feel in between. So now, I believe I need more time to understand, let's say, how the routine gonna be for the content creation and how, let's say, how to organize my stuff, because I would like to spend more time, let's say, on making more sports, going outside and stuff. But now since I'm stressed, I have to make content. That's why I feel it is not yet organized, and I have to be careful that I'm not spending too much time working, because now there is no limits. I can work on the weekend, I can work at night and the morning. So this is something that is really hard to control, to not get burnt out. So this is one of the things that I believe I have to control how much I work, and on the other side to have enough time to do other stuff like doing workout and stuff. And one maybe side joke, one thing I'm seeing in the chat, please don't spam, just post your question once and I will try to answer it. So we'll try to silence someone here. Again, I don't have moderators, so that's why it's gonna be hard for me to do both of those things. Okay, so now one of the funny things, since now I'm spending most of my time at home, I'm doing more housekeeping. So my wife now have someone always at home, and she tell me, do this, do that. So actually, this is something that's I think my wife should understand. Me spending time at home doesn't mean that I can do housekeeping stuff. So we have to be careful with that. Okay, so now I will answer now just quickly frequently asked questions. First of all, about the language in my videos. I can add Arabic, I can add, let's say, other languages. But the thing is, YouTube rolled out this feature just recently, and not for the old videos. So now if I publish something new, I'm gonna add all the language. It's around 22 language. And Ahmad, you keep spamming, so I'm gonna mute you for now. So yeah, it's only for the new videos. And as well, at the same time, it is not for the old ones. And if the video is more than 1 hour, I cannot add a language for it, because YouTube will not add it. So it's something that I cannot control. I'm gonna be adding those features as much as I can, but for the old videos, I cannot do it. So for the SQL, 30 hours, I will not be able to add the other languages, and for the Tableau, 20 hours and stuff. So this is one thing about the languages. It's something that's completely up for YouTube. One more thing about the plan, what I'm currently doing. As you can see, I'm publishing now the Python course. Currently I'm making now the last chapter of Python. It's going to be the functions. It's going to be a big one, so it's going to be around 1 hour of stuff about the functions, because this is one of the most important things that you do in Python, is to write functions. So it's going to be the last chapter that I will do. And then by next month, I'm going to put everything together in one big course. It's going to be around 14 hours. And I will be adding some challenges and fixing some errors. So next month, I will be publishing the whole Python course. Now about the Power BI, I will be publishing weekly one video. So it's gonna be nice. I have an editor that is working with me. So that's why it's gonna be, it can be great help for me. Now about Spark, I was trying to do the Spark thing using Databricks, but I have to be careful because I cannot use the free edition of Databricks to do that training. So that's why I am now in contact with them. Maybe I'm gonna get some license, or let's say some exception for me in order to make the courses. So that's why I'm waiting for the last communication with Databricks team in order to make sure that everything is legal from my side. It's not like Power BI or Tableau. I just can download the software and start doing the course. I have to check with them. So that's why I have to, to solve some legal stuff. And then when everything is clean 100%, I'm gonna start. So I might start in January, maybe only doing theory stuff using a sketch about Spark to let you understand what is Spark, what is the difference between it and Hadoop. And on the other side, I will be fixing those stuff with Databricks team. And once I get the final okay from them, I will start making, let's say, all those three stuff, data engineering together with Spark in Databricks, because I don't want to go through the whole installation of Spark locally at your PC. If you use Databricks, it's gonna be like out of the box and you don't have to install anything. You're gonna just work on your web browser. And I saw a lot of, if I make the course directly by installing the Spark locally at your PC, I think maybe half of you will not be able to follow the course. So that's why I think this is the best thing that I can do to teach you Spark using Databricks and not by installing it locally at your PC. And it's going to be, I think, a really nice addition after I've done the Python. So that's why I didn't start it. Sorry for that. I know a lot of people waiting for it. And this is one of the most important skills in data engineering, to know Spark. So that's why just give me some time and I will kick off that course. In January, there will be full Python course and kicking off the Spark together with the Databricks. And of course, Power BI, as you see, it's gonna be weekly video about it. One more thing that is now in the doing as well, I will make challenges in SQL. So as you know, I have done the 30 hours of SQL course. I tried to add few challenges, few tasks and stuff like that, but I didn't add a lot of things. It was mostly I'm explaining the concept behind the scenes, how SQL works, use cases, but I didn't give you a lot of challenges. That's why I will make full, maybe 30 challenges for you using SQL. I will see how I'm gonna do it, because it's gonna be easier if I do it in the academy, but on the other side, not everyone is buying, let's say, the course on the academy. So that's why I will try to put the challenges in YouTube, the SQL challenges, and then as well in the course, which is going to be more easier, let's say, to do in the academy. But I will find a solution how to do the challenges on SQL, because I think this is something that is important for your interviews as well. If you get interviewed, you could maybe practice before going there using those challenges. So yes, SQL challenges and Python challenges as well. It can be something that I will be working on. So those are updates about the tools, or let's say the courses, and what I'm trying to do. And I see still a lot of spams in the chat, so I'm gonna hide a few people that keep spamming. I will not time out, I will just ban you. So don't do that. Don't spam. Just your question once. And okay. I will just mute a few people, then we go in order to have clean chat. So put user in timeout, timeout. Yeah, about the schedule, like how often I'm gonna be publishing Power BI, I will be doing weekly one video. My video is gonna be around 20 minutes of content. So I cannot do every day YouTube video, because it needs a lot of work. I have to sketch, I have to record, we have to edit it, we have to publish it, and I have to think about it as well. Like I don't just open the camera and start talking, you know, I have to plan a little bit before to go. So that's why it's gonna be one, and if I push more, I can do two weekly Power BI. But for now, the minimum gonna be weekly, one video, 20 minutes, something about Power BI. The next video gonna be about the data connection types, import, live connection, Dart query. It's gonna be 50 minutes long, because I went really in deep dive into this topic. So now, those are the updates about what I'm, let's say, I'm doing. Now I will speak about one topic, which is, data engineering, data analytics, and data science. This is a very confusing topic about those rules. And just to make sure that I understand who is watching now, I see around 350 people watching. So I'm going to ask you to press 1 if you are a data analyst or you are planning to be a data analyst. So type 1 in the chat. If you are a data engineer, type 5. So if you want to be data engineer or you are a data engineer, write 5 in the chat. For data analyst 1. And let me see, to understand like where I can focus on the live chat. So oh wow, we have a lot of data analysts. Why you guys are, oh wait, we have some data engineers. Okay. No. I think it's 50-50. What the hell? Yeah, okay. I would say stop. Okay, so I got clear picture. It is 50-50. It's as well, I noticed that in the comments and stuff that some of you are data analysts and others are data engineers. Yeah, now we have some spam. Just type it once, don't spam. Okay, and that's enough, guys. That's enough. Stop. Okay, so now I will explain about this thing. I thought if you are all data engineers, so I focus more on data engineering, but since we have some data analysts, we have to do both. And so the role is not really clear. I can tell you about this. This is not something like other jobs where things are clear. You go to university and you say, you know what, now this is the clear path to be a data analyst, and this is the clear path to be data engineers. There is a lot of confusion, and not only that, there is a lot of people, like, this is the first time I go publicly, let's say, talking about those roles. And I've met a lot of people that are really confusing the others about those roles. There is, I'm sorry to say, there are some fake people outside in the internet, in YouTube, in LinkedIn, and they are giving really false informations about those two rules. And this confuses a lot of people. So that's why I wanted to talk about it, especially if it's your first time, you are learning those skills to be a data engineer or data analyst. You're going to get confused if you check the YouTube videos and you check all those content creators. There are some that I totally agree with about the skills, but there are other people are really trying to confuse everyone else. And as well, I can tell you, it is not clear as well in the companies. Like if you join any company, and they, as a data analyst or data engineer, you're going to find out that there is a big confusion about those roles. Some managers going to think, I'm going to hire now data scientist, and then they're going to give you the work of data engineer. You can check as well the job descriptions. It is totally chaotic. They write, I was searching today for a few, like, let's say, job descriptions. It is crazy. They say they want to hire a data analyst, and they describe full data engineering job, or let's say a data scientist. And if you go in details, you see they are asking stuff for an AI engineer. So it is totally chaotic. I tried always to explain this at the work, let's say, for the others, because most of people that are working on this domain, let's say they have no idea about exactly what is meant with those roles, and the hiring managers, the people that are working with, they are confused about those roles. So that's why I hope that I can make it clear now for you. And so I'm gonna share now my, let's say, iPad, and we'll start sketching something. So I hope that you can see now my screen. By the way, I use Procreate in order to sketch my animations. So it is an app. You pay for it, I think, once. It's like $10 or something, and then you can create really nice sketches. And everything gonna be recorded. So whatever now I'm drawing, it will be recorded as a video. And then I take this video and start editing it. So I really love this application. And I made hundreds of sketches using this. So now, let's talk about this. Yeah. So we're gonna start with the following. Yeah, you have sources like a database, files, and as well there are some modern stuff like Kafka. It is a streaming platform, or data can come in APIs. So those are the sources of data that the company, let's say, use in order to save data, or let's say store data. Those now about the database and files, those are the classical thing. And Kafka and APIs, they are modern, let's say, tools. Now, the process like end to end to analyze anything is the following. Is first you have to extract the data. So extract. This is the first thing that you're gonna do. Whatever tool that you are using, you have to extract the data. And then the next step is that you have to clean up the data. And then there is something very important. You're gonna module the data. So maybe your data is stored in 5 files or 5 tables. You're gonna go and maybe do the data normalization. You're gonna put it in, let's say, 3 tables, 4 tables. So you're gonna change the shape of your data. And then you're gonna apply some, let's say, business logic. So logic. This is gonna be some calculations you do on top of the model in order to prepare the data before the final phase, which is the insights, or let's say the visuals. So you're gonna build maybe a bar chart or a pie chart or whatever, yeah, to do the analysis. So this is actually the process end to end that you can do using many different tools. So now these steps, you can do it. The first level, let's say, of doing all those stuff is by just using Excel. Okay. So now you can do the whole process end to end, yeah, as a data analyst using an Excel. And this is something that you're going to find a lot of people as a business users, or let's say the people that has knowledge about the processes and stuff. You're going to find them always taking an Excel and doing, analyzing the data using it, because it is easy to do. And you can do as well all those steps using Excel. So this is the first level, which is, I'm going to say, the level that I really hate to see from data analysts. But there are people that they didn't get specialized about, let's say, working with data. They are maybe car engineers, they are experts. They just open their Excel file. Everyone knows Excel, and they start analyzing their data without they know that they are data analysts. They have to do the job. They have to deliver numbers to their departments. So this is the first level. Now let's say that this data analyst, they will go a little bit more advanced and say, you know what, Excel is really bad. I will go to the next level. So they're gonna grab a tool like Power BI or Tableau. So this is the second level of doing data analysis end to end. So you can do end to end the whole thing using Power BI. Yeah, so you can totally skip Excel and you start doing stuff Power BI. You can extract the data, you can clean up, doing modeling, logic, and you start building the visuals. So this kind of data analyst, it is more, let's say, more advanced, let's say, than Excel. And this guy or girl gonna go and start learning Power BI and maybe take a course or something, and they start working with it. And this is a big win. This is already an amazing thing if you do it as a data analyst. Yeah. So you don't have to go to university or, let's say, to change your career. You just go and learn a new tool, and then you are a data analyst. So, and most of the people at work, they start switching their, let's say, their career in the company from just like process expert or domain expert to a data analyst by just learning one tool, Power BI. I'm just saying about people that are inside the company. If you are outside the company and you want to be a data analyst, they're going to ask you more than Power BI, of course. I'm just saying the levels of, let's say, doing those 5 steps. Now, this is, of course, not yet professional, right? The next step is that you grab a database. So a database, especially for data analytics, and you connect Power BI on top of it, or Tableau. So now, as a data analyst, this might be one of the first challenges for you. That's how to create this database, because it's not an easy job as a data analyst to, let's say, to configure a database, to maybe to get the hardwares and stuff, and to build schemas, to build tables, and start maybe building a real ETL processes. So this is gonna be a big jump for you as a data analyst. If you say, you know what, Power BI is not enough, I need a real database behind it. And that's why this is the first time you're gonna say, we will start needing a real expert that should be building for me this database. So let me just put it like this. So exactly on the left side now, it's the time where a data engineer should join the project. So here you really need a data engineer to do the ETL and the pipelining. And then as a data analyst, you start, of course, building stuff in Power BI, but still you have to learn SQL in order to grab the data from the database. But you cannot, as a data analyst, it's not expected from you to build the database or to build the pipelines. This is too much, because then you have to go in a lot of specifics, how to connect, for example, database with another database, how to connect Kafka, how to connect APIs. Those stuff you should not master as a data analyst. That's why you grab the data engineer. Now we can go one more level where the data engineer are going to start building actually something more advanced, which is a data warehouse. So a data warehouse, I don't know whether you know this concept. So this is the 4th level, but still we have like Power BI on top of it. So now a data warehouse, this is the next level for data engineering. The thing is, your data comes from multiple sources, okay? And those sources need some integrations. And you cannot just go and have like one schema and put everything inside it. You start to have to integrate the data together, start building a model, start making like different layers and stuff. That's why your database is going to be more advanced, and you can start calling it a data warehouse. And now we're going to go to the final level, actually. As you can see now, as we are going in the levels, the data analyst has to just keep doing the same stuff. Data analyst is just doing SQL and Power BI, SQL and Power BI, that's it. There is no other stuff that is really needed from the data analyst. So this is data analyst here, data analyst here. But now as we go on the data platform and the next levels, you see things are getting more complicated for data engineers. So now they build something called a data lakehouse. So data lakehouse. This is just a mix between data lakes and data warehouses, where you can connect, let's say, not only normal databases, you can connect, for example, semi-structured data and unstructured data. And it is as well, let's say, in data warehouses, usually we use just tables and that database server, which is not enough from speed to deal with big data. So if you want to mix, let's say, big data, the unstructured data together with structured data, then you build a lake house where you have like 3 levels currently we call it the bronze layer, the silver, and as well the bronze. So you're going to build something advanced. I will not go in details, but what I want to say is that the more you go, the more you make like advanced, let's say data platform, the more work gonna be for data engineers. And for the data analyst, there will be, let's say, not a lot of requirement for you to learn more tools. That's why as we go more and more with data engineering, there will be more tools and more, let's say, skills that should be added to you as a data engineer. But for data analyst, I can say there is like some kind of freeze. If you want really to add something, let's say, crazy to your skills, you can learn Python just in order to do one thing, is to, for example, to learn pandas, to just work with data lakes, because some of the databases are, data lakes are stores data as files and stuff, and they are not stored as database tables. And for you as a data analyst to work with the data lake, you can start working with Python and pandas and maybe even PySpark, but this is totally optional for you as a data analyst. So that's why I'm gonna say, if you want to be a data analyst, it is very clear. But for data engineers, it's going to be a lot of way more skills that is needed. But at the end, you can see all those levels. At the end, we want to do those 5 steps. We want to extract the data. We want to clean up the data. We want to module the data, doing some logic and doing some visualizations. Now, so now if you search for some, let's say, job descriptions on the internet, you're going to find sometimes that they're going to ask you to do the whole process as a data analyst, like end to end. For example, this one here. So the hiring manager going to say, as a data analyst or data scientist, whatever, they're going to say, you have to build pipelines, you have to build ETLs, you have to build a data warehouse for us, you have to connect Power BI, you have to manage infrastructure, and the whole thing as a data analyst. This is not correct. So it's either the hiring manager or the manager that is building the team has no idea how to make it. But this happens a lot. This happens a lot because they don't want to make, let's say, a big team working with data. They're gonna hire 1-2 guys and that's it. And then they're gonna like expect from you a lot of things. So that's why it is totally chaos now. If you go and check the jobs market, you're going to see people are asking you to understand Python, to understand cloud, to understand PySpark. But for me, if I'm looking as a job and I see, if I'm searching for data analyst job and I see that they are requesting from me to know cloud and stuff, I might not apply for this job because it is clearly they have no idea what they are asking about. So that's why if you want to master, as a data analyst, your job, you have to learn all those skills. So SQL, Power BI, Tableau, and maximum Python, pandas, and that's it. But as a data engineer, you have to know way more stuff than data analyst. Let me just, tell you about now data engineering a little bit. The thing is, this job was not that famous before. Like if I look, 7 years back, data engineers, it is not something that is I would say people understand what this rule is and they ask a lot about it. So it was not really a skill that is very important in the market, but now it is exploding. A lot of companies now understanding this role. They understand the heavy why data engineer is important. And I'm going to explain for you what is going on. So data engineering is becoming a very, very important role. And without it, I can say companies is not able to implement their data strategy. Before, I would say before 7 years, data engineers were only important if you want to build a BI system, business intelligence system. So if you want to no, just a second. Like for example, if you want to build some visuals, yeah, and and your data analyst is not a specialist, then you're gonna go and ask a data engineer to maybe build for you a data warehouse. So that's it. This is all what was expected from a data engineer, and a lot of people or companies don't totally understand what this means. But now it is, as I said, there is a great importance for data engineers, and this is the following reason. So you have, let me just get this here, easy to write. So now, again, we have our data. So this is databases. We have our files. And let's say there is Kafka stream. Now there are a lot of use cases. There's a lot of use cases for the data. One of them is, for example, to build insights. So insights. And another use case which needs data is AI. Now, I can say there are a lot of use cases in order to, let's say, to work with the AI. And one of the most important one is to talk to your data. So for example, you have here a lot of data for the company, and not always you want to build a report on it. You can make an AI system that goes and start digging into the data in order to bring answers for the business. So there is a lot of attentions now for AI, and almost everyone from the business side or the process experts, everyone want to do an AI use case. And if you're working on companies, you're gonna find them, they have huge budgets in order to do those use cases. So there is huge now, let's say, importance for this. Another use case is that you have a lot of users. They have an ad hoc, questions. For example, you have some business analysts, or let's say someone working on the departments, and they have a question and they would like to answer it today. And they need data in order to answer their questions. So, and I would say those are one of the use cases. And now the thing is, if you don't have a solid data engineer teams, what can happen is that you're gonna have a lot of people here making those use cases, and they will keep drag and they will keep building systems that are not connected to each other's. So it's gonna be like a full chaos in the companies. And if you don't have a strategy on how to build this, it's going to be full chaos, and those use cases will not be you will not be able to implement them, or you will not be able to make let's say clear roadmap for it. And as well, you have some, I'm gonna say, you're gonna get some data officers, or let's say people that's on top of the company. Let's say here, data officer, that's gonna make a data strategy, and he's gonna say, okay, I would like all those departments on the left side to start making something called data products. So it is something that is a little bit more organized. It has like a catalog. It is clear how it is modeled. So it is like something that is more prepared to be used. And this data product, I'm gonna make it like this, maybe as a table. So this data product should be used from multiple use cases. So it should be ready to be used in the insights, like in Power BI and let's say Tableau. The same data product should be used with the AI. The same data product should be used for the from the ad hoc questions, and as well maybe from machine learning and other stuff. So it should be the same kind of data product that should be used. So they're gonna define this data strategy for the company, but they're going to define it just as a document. So they're going to say the data product should contain, maybe should moduled as star schema, should be in English, and should be documented, and they're going to define a lot of rules. But now the thing is, who's going to implement this strategy for the company? And if they don't implement it, it's going to be full chaos, because if you implement those use cases without clear strategy, what's going to happen? They're going to cost a lot. So, and they need a lot of teams, and they need a lot of a lot of budget to be implemented. So that's why those data officers, in order for them to implement the data strategy, they need data engineers. And those data engineers, they have only one job, is to go to those complex source systems and to build this data product. And on the right side, the data analyst or the data scientist or whatever, or the AI engineers, they are not allowed to go to the source system in order to grab the data. They are only allowed to go through the data that is prepared from the data engineers. So that's why a lot of companies now are focusing on building a solid data engineers that's gonna bring the data from the sources and make it available. And this is a huge job, because I can tell you, I never, let's say, joined a company where I can say it is easy to access the data. If you want to build, like, for example, Power BI report from the scratch, and you want to access the data, it's going to be one of the most expensive and time-consuming job, is to go and extract the data from the sources. So that's why a lot of projects fails, and a lot of projects plan a lot of budget in order to make those use cases. And I can say, 50% of them fails. They don't deliver what they promise, because the data in the sources are really hard. Don't expect, like, I don't know whether you joined a company or not before, but don't expect the data going to be easy to consume. People think, okay, I'm following a course, it is only like CSV files and stuff, and it's going to be easy. But believe me, the company's data are very, very complex, and they are hiding behind a lot of walls. There is no documentations about it. It is hard. Like, even if you get an access to it, you won't understand it easily. So it's going to be really nightmare on how to get the data, how to understand it before building anything, whether it is AI, whether it's Power BI, or whatever you are making. And the only hope, let's say, to accelerate the data analytics on the right side is by having solid data engineers. And this is one of the, like, let's say, big challenges that now most of the companies have, because they, like, most of them, they hired a lot of data scientists and data analysts, but they didn't hire, let's say, or they don't have a solid data engineer team in order to implement their data strategy. And that's why they are hiring now a lot, and there's a lot of work for them to do. If in any company, if the data engineers manage to bring the data in a clean way, then everything on the right side, the AI use cases, the Power BI report, the insights, the machine learning, everything will be easy, because they have done the job. And the hardest part of any project is the data engineering part. This is the hardest part. And if you do it only once and clean, then everything gonna be easy on the right side. And slowly, some companies did understood how important is to have professional data engineers. That's why now, and now they are hiring, there is a lot of open jobs for data engineers, and this is all because of AI. So before, let's say, insight and business intelligence was not enough to make the data engineering part important, but because of the AI, now it opened, it opens a lot of discussions in the companies. And if they hire people to implement AI use cases, and they complain about it, say, yes, I can do AI use case for you, but I don't have the data. the data is not clean, everything is not prepared. I need half, maybe year in order just to extract the data. So everything on the right side is actually struggling to get implemented before, before doing data engineering. That's why if I think about any project, whatever, machine learning, AI, Power BI, I always think about it like this. It is 80% of the project data engineering, and only 20% is whatever, and data analytics, data science, and stuff. And this is very expensive. If you don't have a solid data engineers doing that, this gonna be very painful process, and most of the projects fails because of this. That's why that's why it is an important rule. And now I can tell you something about those three rules, data engineering, data analyst, and data scientist. Now, if I look, whatever company that I joined, I can say there is a lot of work for data engineers. There is a lot of requirements. So I can say we didn't manage until now in big companies, we didn't manage to bring 20% of the data in a clean way. So I think, there is a lot of requirements. There's a lot of things to do for data engineers. The other big bubble is data analysts. There is as well a lot of work for you as a data analyst. The thing is, especially with one task, which is moving the insights. Let me just here make it, just moving stuff from Excel to Power BI. This is one of the main tasks that you might be doing as well in companies, so that you take use cases that are done very badly in Excel, and because a lot of struggle and stuff that is not working in the Excel, and you start bringing it to Power BI. So this is as well one of the things that you might be doing a lot in companies. And about the data science, it is, I'm gonna make even the circle smaller. There is less work for data science. The thing is, if data science is one of the most, let's say, one of the jobs that I can say there is no so much requirement for it, because with data analysts, there is a lot of people that can imagine for you a requirement. Like anyone from the domain, from the business, they're gonna think of reports. They need some kind of report. They're gonna need some kind of question about how many, I don't know, how many products did we sold last month or whatever. So they're gonna have a lot of simple questions. This can generate a lot of requirement and a lot of work for data analysts. That's why it's going to be easily to find a lot of projects for data analysts than data scientists. Data scientists, it's just, let's say, if I can say 10% of the requirement is going to be for data science, because not a lot of people can understand how to exactly what they need from the data scientist. Like I saw a lot of data scientists joining companies, but they end up, let's say, having this scenario where no one, or let's say there is a lot of there is like only few ideas about what they can do, unless you come up with ideas. So unless you say, you know what, just give me the data, I will do few stuff, and then you present it. So that's why it's going to be hard to understand you as a data scientist, and as well, it's going to be hard to make a project for you. That's why there will be few data scientists that are switching actually to data engineering in the companies. But it just sounds better, if the company they're going to make a team of for data, they're going to hire first data scientists and data analysts because they sounds better. And then later they're gonna understand that the data is missing. And yeah, that's why I saw a lot of people from, yeah, they transition from data scientist to data engineering. So that's why I can think about few requirements in each company that could be done from data scientists, but for data analysts and data engineers, there's a lot of work to do. That's why they're gonna hire a lot. And as well, if you join the company, it is more clear for you what to do. If you join the company as a data scientist, you might find one stakeholder or maybe a few users that have some ideas for you, but yeah, it's gonna be hard for you to start something new. But for data engineers, if I join now any company, I can make immediately 5-6 projects for data engineers and for stuff that should be done. Same things for data analyst. You're gonna go, like if I join any department and I'm gonna see people are doing stuff in Excel, there is no clear reporting use cases and stuff. So you can generate a lot of things for them. For the data scientists, you can do a few things, but it's gonna be hard for you to understand. And as well, you're gonna automatically moving to data engineering role. So this is what I think about those 3 rules. I hope this makes sense for you. Let's just check the chats. I see some questions. And I'm gonna hide or mute few people. So let me just have a look. Yeah, I see some people are spamming, so sorry for that. By the way, I made, let's say, a Discord community, and it is really active. So we have around 1,000 people there. So you can join there and you start talking to other people that are learning about it. But I have to find some moderators in both Discord and as well for the live stream. So now, if there are any questions, so you can ask me questions and before I go to the next topic. I hope this made sense for you. I don't know, I felt I'm just elaborating a lot. Okay. Yeah, about the future, I can say about those rules. I think, yeah, if I think about it, data engineering can last easily 15 years. So if you start working now, even with the AI, whatever like happens with the AI stuff, at least 15 years, I believe you're gonna have enough work to do as a data engineer. As a data analyst, it is a little bit getting scary, let's say, as a data analyst. Let me just switch this here to talk to you about it. So now, the thing is, as a data engineer, I don't believe an AI can now exist that's gonna do the whole work as a data engineer. The thing is, the data is hiding in many complex systems, like in Kafka, APIs, databases, files, and the data is very hard to be, like, let's say, prepared. There is a lot of very specific stuff for companies and it is not available publicly. That's why if you don't read the documents and understand the database and understand the Kafka and the data itself and the domain, it's going to be really hard for you to engineer the data correctly. So I don't believe it's going to be that fast that AI going to do the whole job for you. So I don't believe that. That's why I think at least as a data engineer, you can have at least 15 years of work. I joined, let's say, 7 years in Mercedes-Benz. I have done 2 projects, 7 years, 2 projects, just bringing around 10 systems there is like thousands of systems in Mercedes-Benz. And I just was able to move 10 systems. It was very hard. So that's why I think for data engineering, there will be a lot of work to do, and as well needed for the future. About the data analyst part, I believe there will be a lot of automation with the AI. For example, I don't know whether you check, there is a tool called AI Genie from Databricks. It is easily converts any language, spoken language, to an SQL query. So for example, the AI Genie from Databricks can understand, let's say, the documentations. It can understand the relationship between tables, and it can answer analytical questions. Like, for example, if I say how many products are sold last month, the AI can generate from this sentence a SQL query and gonna answer back as a bar chart. So I can say about data analyst, it might be automated. And I think this is the first thing that could be automated from all those roles. So that's why it is risky to be as a data analyst currently. But I don't believe companies gonna implement AI so fast, okay? Because until now, like whatever we speak about data, things takes really long time to be done. Like even until now, we are 2025, yeah? A lot of people still using Excel, still using bad tools to do analysis. Even though we have amazing tools and platforms, we have Power BI, we have Tableau, we have Databricks, Snowflakes, we have a lot of nice tools, but still people use Excel, and this is something really annoying for me. But still, it's old-fashioned, and a lot of people still didn't even build a data warehouse for their departments. Some departments don't have even the basic insights, the basic KPIs. And even though we have tools for like more than now, 15 years, modern tools, easy tools. So that's why I don't believe, let's say, the company is going to adopt very fast those AI projects. And it depends on how, of course, how much budget can invest the company in order to bring the AI in each department and stuff. So that's why I think for data analyst, of course, there is a lot of work for you now. You have to build nice stuff in Power BI and stuff, but I think it is the easiest job to get automated over the time using AI. So that's why I think data engineering is more solid for the future as a data analyst. And about the data science, it is something that I can tell you, unless you are in research departments and you are developing new algorithms and new models, I don't think in the industry there is a big need for data science. Because now there's a lot of models that are already there, developed from data scientists, and it's available. So you can check the models from the OpenAI, from the Hugging Face. There are thousands of models that are ready, and you just can install them and start using them. And you don't really need a data scientist unless you have very specific domain challenge, or let's say something really specific that you cannot find a model for it. And then let's say you need a real data scientist to train the data from scratch and start doing those stuff. So that's why I think the AI engineer gonna take over from the data scientist. That few data scientists gonna be needed in the companies because there are still things that should be modeled from scratch, and you need a data scientist for that. Data analysts gonna be needed, a lot in companies until the company figure out how to automate those tasks. And I think it's gonna take some time. And the data engineering, it's something that's I think gonna last good. So if I am now, let's say I start now my career, I am very young, and I want to pick a job, I'm gonna pick either data engineering or AI engineering. But the thing is, both of the jobs rely on. We have now a lot of spam again. Let me just stop this. So hide. And yeah. So yeah, now about the AI engineering and data engineering, I think it is stable. You can, let's say, get a job and it's gonna stay for a long time, but it is hard to learn. It is not that easy to learn compared to data analyst. Data analyst, they have a really clear roadmap. You cannot get it wrong. You're gonna learn Excel, you're gonna learn SQL, Power BI, and that's it. You are ready for the industry, and wherever you go, it's gonna work for you. But as a data engineer and AI engineer, you have to really learn a lot of scripting and a lot of tools, a lot of things. And you should be really good at coding. And that's why it is not that easy to learn compared to data analyst. But it's gonna be, I think, more stable for the future. So that's why I think I will invest more time learning coding, learning Python, and becoming a data engineer. And as a data scientist, as an AI engineer, same thing. You're gonna learn as well a lot of scripting stuff. So, but it is not that easy. It is not that easy compared to data analyst. And it's, to be honest, it makes more fun to learn data analyst, to become a data analyst than to become a data engineer. So that's why I understand totally when people switch their career, they don't switch to data engineering, they go to Power BI and they start switching to data analytics. So that's why I think, yeah, it's easier. So okay, so now one more thing about data engineering and data analysts. Let me just switch and tell you something about it. So yeah, let's say that we have here a group of business users. So they are business users. They are close to the company products. So they could be car engineers, or if you are in hospital, maybe they are the doctors or whatever. So they are the process experts. Yeah. And here is, let's say, the fun stuff happens at those departments. Now we have you as a data analyst and you as a data engineer. The thing is, you as a data engineer, your customers gonna be data analysts. It is very rarely that you're gonna contact those people here, the experts or the business experts. So that's why as a data engineer, you have really, let's say you are far away from the real value of the work. You cannot see it as a data engineer because it's like, again, you have here a front end and a back end developer. Yeah. So as a back end developer, those users will not understand what you are doing. So, and you will not get in contact with them. Yeah. A lot. So that's why you will not understand in many cases if you join any company as a data engineer, unless you have curiosity and you go and start talking to people and you build relationships and connections and stuff, you will not understand what the company is doing as a data engineer unless you start connecting with people. But as a data analyst, it is way more fun, or as a data scientist, because you work directly with the business, you work directly with the processes and the products, and you are the front end. And if something, like let's say the team build an amazing dashboards, yeah, or amazing use case in AI. Okay, I think I'm gonna say 80% of the work is done from the data engineers, and 20% is done from the data analyst. But the one that gets the credits are the data analysts. So that's why if you work as a data analyst, it can be more fun at the company because you get in touch more with users, with customers, with front ends, like Power BI is front end at the end. As a data engineer, you're going to get your requirement from data analysts, and you're going to have like only 2-3 where you're going to work with them, prepare for them data and stuff. and you will not understand the final goal, why you are building those stuff, unless you try to skip this bridge and go directly to the end users and understand what they are doing with the data. So this is one of the things that as well, yeah, one of the big differences between those two rules. So now I'm seeing a lot of questions about how to become. I'm switching now. So you guys are asking about the roadmaps, how to become those stuff. Let me try to explain it like in the roadmaps and the videos on how to become a data engineer and data scientist or analyst. I will be refreshing those videos, by the way, by the next month. So I will start talking about how to become data engineer in 2026 and stuff, where I take more of my time and explain stuff. Now, let me try to list again those stuff. Now, as a data analyst, as I said, I'm trying now to say, so the first and the most important one I'm gonna say is SQL. This is the most important skill. So first SQL, and then Power BI or Tableau. Now about Excel, it really depends. If you join a company where the whole department is doing Excel, then you have to learn it and to do it. But if you joined a modern company, I hope they will not ask you to use Excel. So that's why I'm gonna say those two if I think about a modern company, okay? Now, as a data engineer, it as well depends on the company that you are joining. If the company is building stuff on the on-prem and they don't have a lot of budgets, they have few servers, databases, they might tell you to build the whole thing using SQL. So even the ETLs and stuff. So the first thing is that you must master is SQL as a data engineer. This is the most important thing. But if you join the company where they have some modern platforms, so they have like something like maybe Databricks or stuff like that, or they can support, let's say, the Spark engines, and you can buy hardwares, or you can go to the cloud and stuff, then you should have as a next skill Python. This is the most important thing. So coding, my friend, coding and GitHub. This is the second skill that you have to master as a data engineer. It is the most important thing. Like I can say 80% of your work as a data engineer, you are writing code. You have to master this. And of course, the usual stuff, the variables, the data structures, the functions. Now about object-oriented, I'm gonna say you could skip directly to, after you learn the basics, you can skip directly to PySpark. So now there is two things maybe you have heard about. There is Pandas and PySpark, okay? The thing is, Pandas is good if you have small data. If you have medium-sized data, then you can work with the Pandas. But I can tell you, it is now, everything is big data. Now, almost all the sources, almost everything is provided in huge, massive amount of data, and you cannot really use Pandas anymore unless you are doing something locally and you are like analyzing the data and stuff. But as a data engineer, the thing is, you have to load the data every day, and sometimes in let's say in stream fashion, and you cannot rely on stuff that are slow. So that's why you cannot use Pandas. You have to learn the PySpark. So this is one thing, and then you have to learn a lot of theory. I don't know, like this is something that I keep I don't see in the courses. No one is teaching in the courses a lot of theory about what is a data lake? What is a data warehouse? What is a pipeline? And what are the different data modeling? What is, let's say, normalization, denormalization? What is data vault? Like, I interview a lot of people as data engineers, and I can tell you everyone fails in the data modeling questions. It's like no one learned anything in the universities. They just learn programming languages, the SQL and stuff, but the theory part is totally missing. It's like no one is reading books or reading some theory. And the most important thing that you have to read and understand is data modeling. You have to understand what are the different techniques, how to model data. You have, like, what is data modeling? For example, you get, let's say, customers' informations from 10 sources. Yeah, so you have 10 tables that are all talking about customers. Now, what you can do with those 10 tables? Are you gonna put everything as it is in Power BI later? Or are you gonna like try to merge them together to make one table called customers? And if you merge tables, you're gonna get a lot of issues like, should I do a join? Should I do a union? Should I do 2 tables instead of 1 table because it's getting very big? What I'm gonna do with the history? Sometimes I need history. So there is a lot of techniques that you have to learn in order, as a data engineer, to provide a nice, clean product. This is one thing, that's to learn how to reshape the data. So data modeling, it's something that a lot of data engineers fails to understand and to learn. And this is something that you have to read about. It's not, there is no tool for it. Like there is not, let's say, you install a library or you learn, I don't know, some kind of platform, and you're gonna learn how to do data modeling. You have to read theory, and one of the things that you have to learn is about data warehousing and what is like star schema versus Snowflake and data vault. Data vault is one of the most important, let's say, concepts to understand as data engineer. It tells you how to split the data by the purpose. Some are links, hubs, satellites and stuff. So this is as well very important one to understand. So you have to learn some theory. If you as a data engineer, if you can only doing like, let's say, coding and you can only query stuff, but you don't know how to reshape the data, how to build data model, I don't believe you can be a good data engineer. So this is one of the most important things that I believe. And then it's a fun thing for data engineers, not only that you are coding and stuff, is to build pipelines. This is a fun thing as a data engineer. You have to build a data pipeline. It is just like blocks of code that's going to be executed after each other's, and you're going to define what's going to happen next. So maybe you can say, okay, first step, go and connect to database. The second step, go and iterate through all tables and start loading the data. The third step, if you fail, send an email, then do data quality. So this is like you are building blocks of code, you are connecting everything together in a pipeline order to reach the final goal and to load the data. So this is one of the most interesting things that you can do as data engineer. So I believe if you do those stuff, it's gonna be, if I'm like, let's say, interviewing a data engineer, I'm gonna check those stuff. So I'm gonna check the SQL, Python, PySpark, and the theory stuff. Of course, there's a lot of things like, do you know about the Azure cloud platforms and stuff, but they are not the real skills that's gonna make from you a real data engineer. Now, few stuff that, I'm gonna say, few stuff that you have to do extra, not only to learn those stuff, you have to do projects. Whatever you are doing, whatever you are learning, you have to do data projects. And as I explained it in one of my videos, for data analysts, you have to do EDA projects. So data exploratory, you're gonna grab data sets, you're gonna analyze it, ask business questions. But as a data engineer, you have to do some complex project a little bit where you're gonna build a data warehouse, build a pipeline, and I recommend you, maybe final recommendation from my side for data engineers is to learn Databricks. This is getting very important. You can do all those stuff that I mentioned above. You can do SQL, Python, PySpark, data modeling, pipelining, everything you can do using this tool. So if you grab a course about Databricks, it is something that's gonna maybe help you to master all those skills. So, and it is as well, there is a free edition where you can do all those stuff. So I recommend you to use it. I will be making course about it. So I will be teaching the whole roadmap using Databricks once I have, let's say, let's say it is for me illegal to do that. So I'm waiting a little bit, but I think in January, in January, I will be kicking off, some data engineering stuff. Just bear with me. About the data quality, okay, let me tell you something about data quality and those stuff. Now, data quality is not like one dedicated job. It's not something that you now I will learn everything about data quality and I will be a data quality guy. Okay, it is something that you do in the process, and it is of course important thing, but it is not the main thing as a data engineer. So it is something that you do as a data engineer, but it is not your main thing. Let me just try to explain it. Your main job as a data engineer is to, if you have a source from A to B, so you want to build a pipeline, an ETL process. This is your main job, is to load the data from A to B. So this is mainly the first thing that you, let's say, where you're going to spend most of your time building. Now, if you've done it correctly, and here you have a nice model, let's say data model, and your jobs, let's say, are fast enough, you are using the best techniques, then you can add luxury to it, let's say accessories to it. It's a luxury thing that to add data quality. So if you master the ETL, you're gonna add at the end maybe a data quality gates. So it is something gonna be added to your ETL. And in your ETL, if you build the data quality, then you're gonna build maybe notification system, notifications. So you start adding, let's say, to your pipelines, some extra stuff to make, let's say, the data ready at the end. So the data quality is just after, there is two ways to do data quality, okay? So either you do it as you are loading the data. So as you are loading the data to a target, you do few questions like maybe some SQL or Python, and you ask about if there are nulls, are the data are loaded, is the table full of data or is it empty? So there are some basic questions. I believe in my project, I implemented like around 20 quality checks on top of my data. And here there is a big decision. Either you do it on the way before loading into the data, or you build data quality process after the data is loaded. So after everything is loaded, then you build another process where it's gonna do the quality checks. So it is something, as I said, you do once you are done building your ETL. It is not your main job to build an, let's say, data quality. If you have a bad ETL pipelines, it is something that you have to focus on. And then after that, once you get your main job done, then you go to the accessories that you add a quality. Yeah, I'm seeing the same question from you, Rocky, about data engineers can be hired as their freshers, of course. Yes, the answer is yes. You don't have, like, Some companies gonna ask a lot about experience, but of course you can get hired as a fresher. My whole team actually in India, not the whole team, 80% of the team, it was their main first job to as a data engineer. So okay, maybe another thing that I would like you to understand, how, yeah, like after you enter, let's say you build yourself as a data engineer, data analyst, you search for a job, you got accepted, what is next? Are you gonna spend like 30 years only doing data engineering things or data analyst? So what's the roadmap for the career? What can happen after that? So maybe I'm gonna tell you a few options that you have. Okay, so let me switch the scene. Okay, now this is gonna be a little bit generic, yeah. So at the start, it's really depend on the career development of each company. So at the start, you might enter as junior data engineer. This is the first thing that's gonna happen. You are junior. You have learned the tools and you have done some portfolio projects, but you are a junior data engineer. So you have to do a few projects, at least 2-3 years as a junior. And then you could be, let's say a data engineer or a senior data engineer. Yeah. So you have experience, and now we can say you are senior data engineer. And of course, there is a lot of paths that you can pick. So one of them, but this is going to be generic. So one of them is management. So you could go and be a manager. Now, as a senior data engineer, one of your tasks is, of course, to mentor, the junior data engineers. So you're gonna help the others by scripting. You're gonna review, maybe do review their codes. You're gonna help them to solve their task if they have a struggle. So you're gonna mentor. You're gonna have some, let's say, you're gonna work with people. Let's say. Now, if you enjoy it a lot and you say, you know what, I like to lead people. I like to, let's say, to solve the blockers, to lead the whole team, and you start thinking about maybe I can be a leader or something like that. It makes fun to work with people, and if there are issues in the team, you are always the guy that is solving those issues and stuff. So you could transition to a manager. So I tried this out, by the way. I was one of the promising talents in Mercedes-Benz, but after I tried it out for around like a year or something, I stopped. I didn't like it a lot because, let's say, first of all, of course, it was the language. I have to, I thought maybe I like some terms and stuff, and if there's a conflict, I should be very strong in German language. So that's why I thought, the language barrier, and as well, it's not something that really I enjoyed, because there will be a lot of meetings for you, and it's only my personal preview on it. So there's a lot of people that enjoy to be manager, but you have to be a little bit more political, So you have to solve the issue. You're gonna have some conflict with other teams, maybe other departments. You have to find solution. So there is a lot of tasks as a manager that has nothing to do with the projects, nothing to do with the data engineering stuff or the analytics and stuff. And so I felt that I'm going away from the tech stuff, and it is not something that I really liked. So that's why I stopped this path for me, but maybe it is a path for you. So this is one of the things. Another Another thing that's you can transition to is a principal data engineer, or it's something that we call maybe a data architect. So this could be as well a next path for you if you like that technology. If you like the stuff that you are doing, you can go to this step, which is this is very, let's say, there is no clear definition about this role, okay? But a data architect, it is something that you go beyond building a data warehouse or building a data lakehouse. You have a look to the company and you try to, let's say, to consolidate different platforms. You try to discuss stuff at multi-departments. So for example, if in your department, or let's say in the whole center, there are like 5-6 data lake houses or data warehouses or data platforms, and everyone is using different tools and stuff. One is using Databricks, the other one is using Talent, and the third one is using maybe Snowflake, and one is using Power BI. And so it's going to be a lot of chaos. And you as a data architect, you're going to take those issues from the different departments, and you're going to try to bring a solution for it. So you're going to try to come up with a blueprint. You're going to say, you know what? If we all go to this blueprint, we're going to save a lot of licenses, we're going to save a lot of costs, and let's say it's going to make the company better. Yeah. So it is something that there is no clear definition for it, but you have to master that different, let's say, the different techniques on how to build a clean data architecture. And there is not like one way to do it. There are a lot of different ways, and it's really depends on the company. And so it involves a lot of communications with the others. It involves a lot of tech discussion. You have to have a lot of understanding of the different platforms. Like, what is the big difference between Azure and AWS? What is the big difference between let's say Databricks, Snowflake, about a Lakehouse? Does it make sense to build a Lakehouse for a small company? Does it make sense to merge things together? So it is a role that is complex, let's say, and you cannot take a course in order to learn it. I start to talking about it in the newsletter, but I have even struggled to explain a roadmap how to become data architect. So it's something that you're going to feel inside the company as you get more and more involved in the different platforms that the company is using, and you start have a full big picture in your head, and you start discussing this full big picture, and you try to enhance it and to make it better. And but this is, let's say, the final thing that you can do as a data engineer. So this is the highest, let's say, top level of technology as a data engineer, is to become a principal data engineer or a data architect, a senior data architect. So this is something that is, that you can do. Another thing is, it's depend, of course, on the company that you are working on. If you are working in a consulting company, you cannot pick some of those roles, okay? So I'm just speaking about those. If you joined a big company, you could become something called a product owner. Okay. Now, a product owner, it is something between a manager and between a tech expert. It is something between. It is, you say, you know what, I have a lot of knowledge about my products. Let's say you build a data warehouse, okay, as a data engineer, or even as a data analyst, you have built a lot of reports in Power BI, and you say, you know what, the whole thing is, I can consider it as a product. I can manage the budget. I can manage, let's say, the requirements. I talk to the end users. I understand what they need, and I know exactly how much it's going to cost. I can build a team. I need 5 more people to do the product. So you start thinking as an owner, and this is exactly what was my role at the end. I went from a data engineer, senior one, to become a product owner. I took over, let's say, two big projects, and I was, let's say, responsible end to end for the whole thing. So I check the requirement from the end users. I tell the managers how much it's gonna cost. I have to sometimes to, let's say, fight about it, to tell them, next year we need more because we have to add the following features. And I give a whole roadmap for the data engineers on how to expand the data lakehouse. And then I start hiring people to my project. So you can say it is like product lead or product owner. And yeah, so it is something in between. You have to work with people, and as well you have to master, let's say, the technology behind your product. If you have no idea about, for example, Databricks, Spark and stuff, you cannot make a roadmap for your product. So that's why it is something that I really enjoyed, and I can say you can try it out to be a product owner or project lead. But the thing is, there is no clear price for it in the companies, most of the companies. So here it is clear path. You're gonna get like, if you become a manager, you're gonna go to different levels and you're gonna get paid better. Principal as well. So it is clear roadmap, but for product owners, it is not something really clear in companies. Maybe they're gonna like, over the time, it's gonna be more clear how much you're gonna get paid, or maybe clear, let's say, job description for it. But it's just a guy that is senior in data analytics or data engineer, and this guy or woman, of course, he shows always like he's like an owner. And if you show those skills that you are owner, then you become a data a product owner. And but the HR will not go and make for you a new contract or something. It is just like extra responsibility that you take over. And depend on how things works in the companies, you might try to find out to get raise or something, but it is not that clear yet. I think this needs some time. And of course, the last one is to become maybe a content creator. Like the things that I'm doing now. So you start explaining the stuff that you have learned. You start sharing your knowledge with others, and this is an amazing way on how to go next. So if you become a senior data engineer or senior data analyst, and you have a lot of knowledge, you're gonna have a huge advantage in the content creation thing, because I can tell you, like, there are a lot of amazing people in this industry of the content creation, but a lot of people, they don't have industry let's say experience. They didn't done a lot of projects. They just learned stuff from course and they start making courses. So that's why if you have industry, let's say you are senior, you have industry skills, and you start making content like I'm doing now, you're gonna get easily a lot of acceptance. So that's why I believe if you go as start making content after becoming a senior, it's going to be as well a very nice option for you. Okay, I hope that you guys have questions about I hope that is clear what happens after that. So like after you join a company, what can happen after that. And of course, if you don't move a lot, then you're gonna be just a data engineer for a long time, or data analyst. About bachelor and master. So I can tell you, if you are young and you can, depend on the country, if you cannot afford going to universities, and let's say you are already, let's say 40 years old or 35, you can think about making to learn everything like on your own. You don't have to go to university. But if you are young and you have this option, so you can go to university and you can take a master or bachelor, do that. Simply do that. So if you can't go and you can do this, do it. It will not help a lot. Like if you bring someone that is self-learning and made courses and made projects, he might has more knowledge than someone went to the university. University will not teach you practical things. Okay, so everything that I showed you already, it's something that I learned on my own, or I learned in the companies. So doing the projects. So universities will not teach you those skills. There is no clear, like, my master degree as well, it was about data engineering, but it involves a lot of things that has nothing to do with data engineering. I learned a lot of things about machine learning, but come on, as a data engineer, you don't need all those stuff. So that's why university is good to get the degree, because it's going to make your life easier getting a job. But inside the company, no one cares about your degree. Really, no one cares about your degree. If you go inside the company, you're going to see a lot of data analysts, data engineers, that they have no degree at all. They just switch their career. Before they were, I don't know, a process expert or maybe a car engineer, and they switch to become a data scientist. So inside the companies, if you go inside, it's hardly to find someone has a degree in data engineering, data analyst, or data scientist. It's really hard to see. Only few people. I saw only few people that has a degree, because a lot of people switch their career while they are doing their job. So this is one of the biggest source to become a data scientist and data analyst, is to switch your career. You started with something and then you switch to become this role. So if you are already inside the company, don't go and take a degree as a bachelor or master degree. Just switch your career, make few courses and switch it. If you are young and you are thinking about to work with data and stuff, try to go to universities, because it's going to be easier for you to get a job. So, but without it, it is totally possible to find a job. It is not a must. Okay. What is very important to get a job, I keep repeating this, is to not only to learn the tools to do projects. Guys, just do projects, and learn how to explain your projects. I was involved in a lot of interviews. I was thinking about this for the next stream, but if you guys asked about it, I'm gonna tell you. I interviewed a lot of people. Of course, it's gonna be one of the first things that we check is whether they have like a master or bachelor degree in computer science or whatever. But in the interview, we don't talk about it a lot. We talk about what they know and their projects. Your project is one of the most important things that you have to present in the interview. You have to talk about it. You have to have a really good GitHub repository, portfolio, and you have to master how to explain your projects. Like, for example, if you build a data warehouse, okay, and you went to an interview, you have to be very fluent explaining your projects. You tell them how you started, what are the problems that you want to solve, what are the tools that you used, what are the steps inside your pipeline to building this data warehouse, and what were the outcomes and what you have learned and stuff. So you have to master explaining your projects. If you do this, it's going to be really easy for us to hire you, because we see a real value. You already built something. If you already built something, then you are already a builder. And this is everything that we need in projects. We need builders. We don't need people with certificates in their hands. It is, of course, it is nice thing for the HR manager or the hiring manager or whatever, but I can tell you, the interview is going to go through multiple processes, and the final, let's say, yes, it's going to come from the project, from your colleague inside in the company. And they're going to ask real questions. They're going to ask your experience about, for example, SQL, Python, or Power BI. They're going to, for example, Power BI, I don't know, do you know the differences between an import data connection and Dart query, and how you choose between them? So they're going to ask real questions. And if you have done the projects, you're going to go through those different concepts and you can answer them correctly. So that's why spend time doing projects, even if there is no project in the internet. Like if you don't follow my projects, if you don't follow other people's projects, you can make your own project. Just go to ChatGPT, tell that you would like to build a dashboard in Power BI, you need a data sets, you need challenges, and ChatGPT can generate for you CSV files. You put them inside Power BI, you start building visual, struggle, and at the end you're gonna feel the end-to-end process, yeah, on how to build a project. So if you are struggling to find a good project, use ChatGPT. It can generate data. It can generate questions for you, business questions, and yeah, the more projects you do, the easier for you to get hired. And not only building the projects, learn how to explain the projects. It's gonna be then easier to get a job. And yeah, this is what I think about it. So, do we have any other questions? I see here. Okay. Planning to go my first job as a data quality analyst. Is it a good idea? If you think, if like there is a big difference if you ask this question, if it's your first job or you are inside a company and you are switching it to it. So just to be honest with you, if you want to get your first job, get whatever possible for you. Okay, you can always switch later, but getting hired now is really, really hard. So if you see a company that is hiring as a data quality, I don't know, they have a data quality job, or they have a data analyst job, or data scientist, whatever, yeah, you find a possibility to enter a company, just take it. And then later you can switch. So once you enter the company as a data quality analyst and you are already inside, then the game totally changed. Now you don't have to prove a lot to learn skills and get, let's say, certificates and to prove yourself. You are already inside, and it's going to be easier to switch your career. You can take few courses and you can tell your manager or whatever inside the company and say, you know what, now I would like to become a data engineer. Can you find for me project for it? I have done the following courses, and then you can switch to data engineer. So it's always the hardest thing is to get your first job. Once you are inside, you can always switch to something else. So don't worry a lot about it. So if you start as a data analyst and you think, you know what, it is easy to get skills in Power BI, in SQL, in let's say in Excel, then do that. Learn data, yeah, the skills to become data analyst, and later inside the company go and switch to become data engineer. So you can always switch inside, yeah. So that's why if you find someone is hiring and it is possible for you to enter, just go for it and switch later. It's not the end of the world, yeah, if you go as an analyst and then you switch to data engineer. If you okay, we have some spammers. I have to stop that. And this one here. So please don't spam. I'm gonna put you in timeout. Okay, about you were telling that engineering is hard. How hard? What does hard means? What I meant as I said it is hard, it is not because it's not something like hard to do. It's actually hard to understand how to become data engineer, because as I said, there are a lot of confusion in the internet and there are a lot of skills that you have to learn as a data engineer. But the skills are not hard. Like learning Python is not hard. Learning PySpark is a joke. Learning SQL. It's not hard to learn those skills, but it is hard to understand what are the skills that I have to learn and how deep I go in those skills. Like for example, if I start learning Python, I could spend maybe 3 years just learning Python. So it's confusing for people to become a data engineer because they don't know how deep they should go in the tools to become data engineer and when they are ready to get hired. So that's why this roadmap is going to be hard, because a lot of people on the internet are confusing each other's. There are a lot of fake, let's say, roadmaps to become data engineer. Last time I reviewed even the IBM Coursera roadmap. Like it was from IBM, okay, for Coursera, one of the best platforms. But as I was reviewing the roadmap, I found at least 4 skills that has nothing to do with data engineering, 4 skills. So that's why It is hard because it is not that clear. And I'm not saying that I am the only one that knows how to become data engineer, but I'm saying there is a lot of people that has no idea. And not only in the internet, it's as well inside the companies. People has no idea what is exactly meaning of data engineering. Yeah. So as a data engineer, you don't have to learn math. You don't have to learn machine learning. You don't have to, I don't know, to master Power BI. As a data engineer, you have to load the data from A to B. You have to build a clean pipeline that deliver the data fast, so not slow, and as well clean. That's it. Nothing else, nothing more. You don't have to be to learn a lot of tools to become data engineer. But as I said, it is hard because it is confusing, not that hard. Domain knowledge is, so what is the importance of domain knowledge in data analyst? Domain knowledge, it is something that is, let me try to formulate it. Okay, as a data analyst, you have, in order to answer business questions, you have to understand the business, okay? So if you are a data analyst and you know only tools, like how to write query in SQL, you can build the most beautiful Power BI dashboard. That's nice. But if you have no understanding about the domain and the business, you cannot answer any questions. And this is something that the data engineers don't have to deal with it, because data engineers, they're gonna need the domain only in order to build the data model, to build the final stage in data engineering. But as a data analyst, you have to master both the skills and the domain. Now, if you are inside the company, it's going to be easy because you already know what domain we are talking about. If you are in car industry, you have to understand how the data engineers, for example, in the R&D works in their processes. So you can go and start reading documentations, get contact with people and understand the domain. But if you are outside, you didn't, like, let's say, you are not in the company yet, you are applying for jobs. Of course, there are a lot of domains, so you cannot learn all the domains. You can pick the one that you like. Like, for example, if you like everything about pharmacy, you like this domain and you like this business. And in your city, there are some consulting company that are working with pharmacy companies. Then what you're going to do, you're going to start learning maybe from outside what pharmacy means, what could be the processes, what are the different products, and what are the usual questions that's, let's say, is asked in the business. So you try to learn about the domain and start applying for jobs, but it's going to be almost impossible to master the domain. But once you are inside the company, if you have only skills about the tools, it's not enough. You have to study, you have to read documentation and stuff. That's why the best data analysts, they are the people that they were process expert or domain experts, and then they learned the tools. So those people gonna be better at their job as a data analyst as you just learning Power BI and SQL and then start learning the domain, because they know the business, they know exactly the questions, and once they learn the tools, they're gonna answer the questions better than anyone else. So if you are working in a company where you are a process expert, you have a lot of knowledge of the domain, and you start learning Power BI and SQL, you're going to be an amazing one, because it is rarely, like, it's really rare to find someone with both of the skills, domain and skills. Learning the skills is way easier than learning the domain. So I hope this answers your question. Let me check. There are a lot of questions. So I am an Oracle PL/SQL developer. Can I transition into data engineering role working with other databases? Man, if you are Oracle PL/SQL developer, it is you already know a lot of things. So it's gonna be very easy to go as a data engineer. The only thing that you have to add is, since you have a lot of experience in Oracle and let's say databases, you should learn more scripting using Python and start learning how let's say, other data platform works. Like what is Hadoop, what is Spark, what is a data lake, and why we store the data in files and not anymore in databases. So you have to start, experience what is the other way on storing data. But for you, it's going to be really easy to become a data engineer. So that's why I hope this answers the question. Without having a job, how to learn domain? I already explained it. So you have to pick one of the things that you like. Like if you like the car industry, search for datasets about data and about the car industry and try to answer questions on top of it. But you cannot learn the domain without entering the company. So you should have only the basics, let's say, about the domain, but you cannot be an expert of the domain without entering. I see a lot of questions about career gap and what career gap, 1 year, 3 years, 4 years, whatever, doesn't matter. Of course, it's depend on the one that is hiring, the mindset of the manager, of the HR. If they have an open mind and they see you have enough skills and stuff and they will not care about the gap. So don't worry about the gap, just stay focused. Don't be scared, like just focus, keep building, keep progressing, and don't be scared. Don't think about, everyone has something, okay? Like as like once you start applying for jobs, everyone has something. Like for me, it was me, like I am from Syria, okay? And I came here as a student in Germany. I studied and took a master's degree, and was my biggest fear. I have no idea how things works in Germany. So I say, okay, if I apply for jobs, of course, they're gonna take someone that has a German citizenship as a Syrian guy. So it was my biggest fear. Who's gonna accept me? Of course, they're gonna accept their guys, not me. But after that, I found out this is only garbage. Like it is fair here in Germany, and people don't really care where you come from. They care what you can do. So everyone has something to be scared of, whether it is a gap, whether if you have no degree, whether maybe you don't speak the language perfectly. So there's no perfect guy to get the job. That's why don't be scared. If you feel scared, then this is the worst thing. You have to keep focused, believe in yourself, like be confident, go to the interviews, and you will get a job. About whether AI gonna replace data analyst role, I already spoke about it. Black Soul. Baraa, is data warehouse projects you did a column-wise check for each column and then found nulls and others, and then included transformation query? Would you do the same in Spark? Of course. Of course. Yeah, one of the things that we do as data engineers is to inspect the data, to check the data, whether we have data quality issues inside the data. And if you found something bad, like let me take you in a quick process how we work as a data engineer, okay? So if you joined as a data engineer, any project, any team, one of the very famous tasks that you're gonna get is go and connect a new table or go and connect a new source, okay? Let's say it's easy, you have already the source connected in the pipelines, but the data analyst need 3-4 more tables. So as a data engineer, I'm gonna go to the source, find those 5 new tables, start building a pipeline for it or extending the code. And once the data in your platform, I have to do a double check. So I'm gonna go inside those 5 tables. I'm gonna check whether everything is fine, whether the data types are correct, whether there are nulls, whether there are something weird, or maybe to suggest extra transformations on top of it. So I'm gonna talk with the team about it. I'm gonna say, hey, I found a lot of nulls in this table. So you might get contact with the source system and talk about it. Is it normal to have so much nulls in the database? And you talk to the data analyst. What do you think? We have a lot of nulls inside those columns. Should we leave them as it is? And if the data analysts say, no, this is bad, you have to replace it with unknown or something, then you build data transformations for it. So this is a normal check that we all do, whether it's SQL, Spark, or whatever. You check the data. If you find something bad, you're gonna report it. And if you have to fix it, then fix it. If not, then blame the source system and then build the pipeline. So I hope this answers your question. So how to shift? How to shift? But please ask your question once. I can read, but if you spam, then it's gonna be hard for everyone else. So ask your question only once. Okay, so I'm gonna take the question of the following question: how to shift from data analyst to a data engineer? Okay, so how to switch? This is a good question. Let me just try to check. Okay, so we talked about this picture, right? So yeah, if you are a data analyst, you have mastered only those two. So as a data analyst, you have SQL and you have Power BI or Tableau. Then what is missing is all other stuff. So if you're a data analyst, you have to learn then coding using Python. You have to learn GitHub, PySpark maybe, and how to build pipelines, and start reading theory on how to model the data, how to build a data warehouse, what are the differences between them and stuff. So actually you have a lot of things to do. The only thing that they are sharing currently is SQL. So only SQL is shared between them. But maybe, let me go back to, I don't know which, maybe this one here. This one here is nice. So now maybe you are at level 2. Let me search for you here. So let's say that you are data analyst at this level. Okay. If you are new here, I hope this picture gonna now makes no sense for you. But let's say that you were a data analyst that were doing the whole thing end to end. So you extract the data using Power BI, you clean up, doing data modeling logics. So you already know the process end to end. So actually you know the theory and how to do it using Power BI. The only thing is that you'll need to learn how to do those 3 steps. So how to do extract using a pipeline, maybe using a Python code, how to clean up the data instead of Power BI to use maybe PySpark or SQL, and how to model the data instead of building star schema in Power BI, and you have to build it maybe using as well PySpark. So you know the theory on how to do those stuff using an Excel or Power BI, but you have to learn how to do those with the new tools. So yeah, I can say you already done some data engineering as a data analyst, but you have to use the right tools for it. So I'm gonna pick one more question and then maybe stop the stream. So let me check. So about the books, I have a link where I share it almost in each video about the best books that I use for different roles, so you can check that. Is data engineering an entry-level role, or is it hard to be a data engineer as a first job? Well, of course, you can be a data engineer as an entry level. So it is totally doable, of course. as I told you, in a lot of my projects, I had a team where people where it's first job to join my team and my project, so it's totally possible to do that. Okay, so guys, now I'm gonna wrap things up. I think I will not drink more coffee. So I hope that I answered a few questions that that you posted about. Of course, I didn't manage to answer everything. About the next stream, I'm gonna do monthly one stream about one live stream about those stuff. But the next one is gonna be about the interviews. I'm gonna deep dive into questions that could be asked, or let's say, I might ask as an interviewer, because I interviewed a lot of people, as I said. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna tell you what were the questions that I asked in the interviews and what are the answers that I expect. So we're gonna do this by next live stream. I'm gonna try to prepare you a little bit with the interviews as a data analyst and as a data engineer. So what are the most frequently asked questions in interviews as a data engineer, and how to answer them, how to prepare for interviews. So those stuff gonna be a topic for the next stream. And I promise you, for the next one, I will make sure to have one moderator in order to, let's say, block or time out spammers. And about the next month, what you're gonna expect from me is that I will kick off the Spark if everything goes well with the Databricks team, whether I can use their tool to teach or I have to buy something for it. You're gonna find the Python course in the Udemy and as well in YouTube in the Academy. So I'm gonna put everything together and publish the Python course. I will keep doing the Power BI stuff, deep dive into each topic. I'm very excited about it. And about data engineering course, I have to think about it, how to design it yet. So I'm still not sure how to do the thing with the data engineering course, but Spark and Databricks for sure. I'm gonna start those stuff because I would like really to make a project for you on how to build a data lakehouse end to end, like similar to the one that I have done for the SQL data warehouse, where I went like end to end from the files to the final model. I would like to do the whole thing again using Databricks and building a lakehouse. So you're gonna learn stuff, so you can learn data modeling, Spark, and how to deal with different files, how to use Databricks to do those stuff. So I'm really excited about this, and it's something that is on my top priority that I'm gonna work on, to give you a project similar to the one that I have done in companies. And if you do this project and you share it with, let's say, as a portfolio with the others, it's gonna really prove for them that you have all the skills that they need. So I want, really, this is my goal, that next year, I want to prepare you with an amazing project using Databricks, Spark, building a model, building a lakehouse, to be one of the best, let's say, portfolio projects out there as data engineers. And it could be used in your resume, in your portfolio. And I think it's gonna convince anyone that's gonna interview you. So this is, I didn't find such a project online. So I think this is something that's, it can help a lot of people to get hired. And I think this is way more important than doing another data engineering course. I'm gonna do that, of course, but I think making a solid project on YouTube or in my platform, it's gonna help you to get hired. This, I think, the best way. This is way better than certificates and anything else. So that's why you can expect this from me, but I have to make a plan for it, because if I rush it, it will not be complete. I want to take you end to end in this data engineering projects. And about Power BI, as usual, as I'm done with the SQL and Tableau, I'm gonna pick a topic, explain everything inside it, deep dive inside it, sketch the concept, sorry, And then at the end, we're gonna have at least 2 dashboard projects using Power BI. But my goal next year is to bring you the best data engineering projects that's gonna get you hired. I'm not saying this as, I don't know, try to sell you something. I don't want to sell you anything. I just want to help you to get jobs out there. And I want you to get it from someone that has already done it in the industry, not from theory or stuff like that. So I think this is gonna help you. If you want, you can support me. So you're already doing it, doing amazing job by supporting me. So if you subscribe, like, comment, and share the work that I'm doing with the others, it's gonna really push on me and help me, let's say, sustain what I'm doing. Because if things don't go well as a full-time content creator, I'm gonna write or update my resume and go back to companies and start working again. But if you guys support me, and you're already doing an amazing job, so thank you for that. Then I can stay as a full-time content creator, and I will do for you industry projects for free. Okay. So I'm gonna do things for free for you, and I expect that you support me as well in return. And if you want to go like extra mile to support me, of course, you can buy the things that I'm putting in my Data Academy or in Udemy, but you don't have to. So you don't have to pay anything for me unless you would like to do. But I think I'm okay if you just support me for free. And yeah, this is my biggest projects for next year. The Data Lakehouse and deep dive in Power BI, the Spark, and keep doing those live streams. I hope you enjoyed it. Sorry, I was not totally prepared for this. I just went live and start talking and blabbering, but I hope you enjoyed it. And next time I will try to make things more clean in the chats and maybe answer more questions. Give me time in order to learn how to do this. This time, I think it's way better than before. So I answered questions, I was reading your stuff, but each live stream, I hope that I'm gonna improve, where things gonna be maybe more entertaining and and answering more questions and more clear on the chats. So that's it for this time. Next time, we're gonna talk about interviews in next month. Thank you so much for being here. It was an amazing. And if you want to keep touch with me, join Discord, because I check there the channels and people are engaging with each other. So go and join Discord. I'm gonna join there and discuss with you and answer your questions. Other than that, thank you so much for joining today, and I wish you a nice start in the next year and enjoy your holidays. I will take a break for 1 week to go to the mountain and and make small vacation. I'm gonna post about it. And after the vacation, I will go full power on the courses, and it's gonna be amazing. So it's gonna be more than this year. I have now full time only for this. I'm gonna share everything that I know, and if you guys keep pushing me and supporting me, it's gonna be amazing. So thank you so much for today, for joining, for your questions, for your engagement, for everything. And I will see you in the next videos and the next live stream.